Hello, and welcome to Renee Speaks Golden Nuggets. Today's episode is going to be so amazing, y'all. We have a guest on our show who is a certified life coach. She's done so much, and we just had a fantastic conversation over on Renee Speaks. And if you have a moment to check that out, please do. We're going to dive in even deeper right now on Renee Speaks Golden Nuggets. Please join me in welcoming Kshama Singhi. Hey,
Hi,
Kshama.
Renee. Hello.
I
Hello. Hi again. Thank you so much for having me, Renee.
absolutely my pleasure. I'm so excited to go even deeper into our conversation that we were just talking about. And just to kind of bring everybody up to speed, we were just talking about the value of operating in your values, being authentic and operating as your true self in your business and in life. And so, right now, I'm going to allow Kshama an opportunity to kind of bring us up to speed, give us a recap of what we just talked about, and introduce herself to you, our new Golden Nuggets audience.
Thank you, Renee. So, thank you, everybody. Thank you for having me. My name is Kshama Singhi. I'm an empowerment coach. I'm Shetty certified. We were just talking, Renee, and I had a beautiful conversation. I'm absolutely loving the energy, Renee. Um, we spoke about authentic authority and just authority is not a very very common term that we've used, so I want to just redefine it for the listeners over here. Is authenticity is, of course, when you're totally truly aligned to your own values, to your own purpose in life, and who you truly are. And then when you add authority to it, what it means is you are the subject matter expert of your own life. You are, you know your life better than anybody else does. You have experienced the experiences you've had, the feelings that you've had, everything that you think about is you are the subject matter experts, and that gives you the authority over your life. So authentic authority really means taking control of your life and going in a very authentic way, doing things, whether be it business, whether be it your relationship or anything else, in a way that is aligned to your values and to your purpose.
Yes, yes, love that. And when you are aligned to your values and your purpose in what you're doing, whether you're operating your own business or you are having to go to work in corporate America, you still have this sense of purpose when you are operating in your own values and you have operating in your authentic authority over your own life. And so when you bring that, it makes it a joy to go to work every day. If you don't have that kind of joy, or you don't have that kind of personal fulfillment when you have to get up in the morning, there's something you might need to think about. How can you get that joy? How can you get that personal fulfillment? How can you operate in your values and in your purpose and in your gifts? So today we're going to talk a little bit more about that, and get advice from Kshama for seasoned entrepreneurs who may be hesitant to fully express their authentic selves in their businesses, and they have some fear that it may alienate or lose customers. So that may be taking another twist on it, but it's still very relevant and very important for us to be able to navigate. So, Kshama, can you help us with that?
Yes, the first thing I would say is don't be afraid of losing customers. And I would also extend it to not only your customers, don't be afraid of losing people in your life. If you are authentic and you lose people in your life, they're not meant to be in your life, whether be it
Mm,
customers, whether be it relationship, whether be it friends or family, even for that matter. So
mm,
it's because it's almost like you're allowing others to dictate how your life should look, what your business should look like. You know, you can't do a business, be responsible for a business based on other people's feelings.
oh, that is so good. That is so good. I'm like letting each one of those words just kind of marinate, as you were dropping them. I mean, those are definitely some golden nuggets. Don't be afraid. Don't let people dictate to you, the entrepreneur, the business owner, or to me, my own self what things are supposed to look like. I have a vision. I know what my values are. And if people don't want to align up to those things or don't uh, or have opposing thoughts or opinions, not that they're all bad. I mean, of course, we listen to them, but if they don't line up, then it's not supposed to be a part of where we're going with the future. Does that sound right?
Absolutely. There's this amazing my coach. So I have a coach as well, just for people to know. But there's this amazing thing my coach used to say to me is that you've never seen a flower run behind the bees. What the flower does is just stands, a sunflower just stands tall, doing what it's supposed to do. So just being itself. It's the
Hmm.
bees that come running. The right bees get attracted to the flower and they come to the bees.
Yes.
We have to
Yes.
be that sunflower, just doing us. People who are
Yes.
meant to be in our life, who align with us, who align with the authentic self, they will come to us.
Right. Right. I love that. And but as I'm thinking about it, so there are some things that I don't know. And I, I'm laughing because some
I'm
people
sure
might say,
you
"Oh, you
do.
think you know everything?" No, I really, I'm admitting I don't. I don't know everything, and so I need people in my life though who help educate me and help me grow in knowledge and wisdom and understanding. So that too, I think, has to play a part in me being me, right?
Yes. So you need to have, and if I understand your question correctly, Renee, what you're saying is you do have to do a bit of running, or is that people pleasing? Am I getting that right? A little bit of people pleasing?
Actually, I don't think it's people pleasing because I'm with you on that. We don't need people trying to tell us what to do, but because we don't know everything, we need people in our lives who can add to our lives those
Yes.
things that we don't know about.
Yes. And that's a difference. So when you're fearful of losing someone, you're holding on to someone with the fear that you might not find somebody else. I might not get another customer if this customer leaves. I might not get some other mentor who's going to tell me how to run my business if this mentor leaves, for example.
Hmm.
What we have to understand is when and we spoke about this, Renee, is that we've grown. Like, I don't recognize myself from 15 years ago who I was. So
Mhm.
the kind of mentor I needed, or the kind of people who would tell me what to do at that point, was totally different to what I need today at this stage in my life.
Yes.
So it is important to be your authentic self, be your genuine self, so that you can go to the right mentors, or the right mentors. You can attract the right mentors, the right people who can give you advice, the right tribe. We spoke about the tribe and the village that you want to surround yourself with. You want to make sure that you are the authentic person and you are who you are, so that the people who are surrounding you have accepted you for who you are.
Right.
Does that make
Right.
sense?
It does make sense. And I appreciate you sharing the difference and what it is that we were talking about. So to bring people into your life who add value to your life, who bring a new perspective, that's not the bad thing. That's a good thing. But we can't be operating in fear of what other people think. Yeah, those are two very different things. And we can't be operating in fear of losing customers or clients or friends as we are living out our purpose.
Yes.
So, yeah, people pleasing is not going to lead to success because people change like the wind. One, and it could be the same person who has one opinion one day and a completely opposite opinion the
So
next
true.
day.
Yeah.
So there's a song that says you can please some of the people some of the time, but you can't please everybody all the time, or
Yeah. Yeah.
something like that. So you just have to stay true to yourself because that's what's the most important thing, staying true to yourself and living out your purpose that you are here on this earth for.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Awesome. Awesome. So, as seasoned entrepreneurs, how can we then inspire and empower the next generation of entrepreneurs to embrace their authentic authority and lead with confidence?
For me, it's a very, I think, for me, it's quite simple. I have a daughter. She's 12 years old. She
Mm.
sees me doing this. She sees me struggling. There are times when I've like, I just can't do this anymore. I've just given up. I've just thrown my toys out of the pram and I was like, I can't do this anymore. And then she's seen me succeed as well. There are times when she's seen me succeed. So as an
Mhm.
entrepreneur, I still think that being, again, coming back to authenticity, doing what you're supposed to do, staying true to yourself and showing up the way you need to without feeling guilty is empowering for the generations who are looking at you. It could be your children, it could be your nieces, nephews, it could be anybody in the next generation who's looking at you right now.
Right, right. Absolutely. And when they do see you coming up against a challenge and facing it head on and not being afraid and doing whatever it is that you've got to do to overcome, that puts in their mind, wow, if she can do it, certainly I can do it. This is my experience. This is my I've seen it done before. So if they can do it, I can too. Um, and I kind of, as you were talking about your daughter, it put me in the mind of a time when I was at the AAA office getting traveler's checks. This was back in the day when we needed traveler's checks to travel overseas. We were traveling to Italy, and we were at this. My son and I. My son was probably 12 at the time, and we were in line behind this mother and daughter, and the mother had much attitude toward the person who was serving us. And she had all this neck rolling thing going on, and she had this nasty tone in her voice, and she was just being mean to the person. And then, like, without missing a beat, the daughter mimicked her and was so disrespectful to the server.
Yeah,
And I was like, wow, what we do and the impression we leave on young people, it's no joke. I mean, we have to be so conscious all the time of how we're behaving, how we're talking, what we're role modeling for the next generation because they're watching us.
yeah.
They see us.
And that is so important. They're watching us. They don't learn from what you're going to tell them. You might tell them 100 times, be respectful, but they're going to learn what they see. They're watching us, not listening to us.
Absolutely. Our children do what we do. They don't do what we
What they
say.
say. Exactly.
All the time. They
Yeah.
might do what we say sometimes, but yeah, they will definitely do what we do.
Yeah.
And so that's why it's so important that if we are going to teach confidence, we need to show them what confidence looks like and show them that they don't have to be victims, that they of their circumstances, that there's always a way, there's always a solution
Yeah.
to getting to where you need to be,
Yeah.
and
And also,
it looks
failing is
different.
normal. We need to normalize failing. We need to normalize these challenges.
Mhm.
When I was growing up, for some reason, I don't know how, I was kind of protected. So for me, business was like a piece of cake. My dad was a businessman. So for me, it
Mhm.
was like, yeah, it's easy. It should be easy. There's no challenges. It's okay. And failing was not something that I took very well because for me,
Mhm.
I should be a winner all the time. But now what I'm
Mhm.
realizing is it's important for the next generation and my daughter to see it's okay to fail. It's
Right.
okay to fall flat on your face sometimes. That's how life
Mhm.
is.
Right. Well, and they call that now failing forward. If you've
Yeah,
heard that phrase before, if we fail forward, then there's a benefit to the failure because you're learning from it.
exactly.
You're gaining experience, you're gaining wisdom, you're learning what not to do.
Yes.
And that too benefits you in your life when you learn what not to do.
Yeah,
Just as beneficial as learning what to do. So,
exactly.
so important. So, failing forward is so critical, so important to helping to build confidence because the more you can talk about your failures, and I love how you say normalizing failure, the more you can talk about it, the more you have a testimony of how you've overcome and what you did to get through and to make it,
Yeah,
right?
absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah. So, Shama, can you share any success stories or examples of women who have embraced their authentic authority and experienced transformational change in their lives?
Yes. So I'm going to share something which is more personal, more in a relationship. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
so this client of mine, when we first started speaking, she was quite unhappy in her marriage. Coming from an Asian background, she had toxic in-laws. She felt like she was not supported by her husband, and no matter what, she's always unhappy. She was always getting into arguments with her husband. She has two children as well, and she was just miserable. And
Mm-hmm.
when I look at it from a bias point of view, if that's the word, when I look at it from a third person, I was like, "You've got everything you need. What are you so unhappy about? I just don't get it." But she was miserable. She's like, I just want a divorce. I can't stand him anymore. He never supports me. He never does this for me. He never does that for me. So she was just like very, very unhappy in her relationship. She was ready to get a divorce. I was like, okay, fine, if that's what you want. But let's work through this. Let's give it some time and let's agree that if in 6 months' time things don't change, then you will file for a divorce or something like that. And as we started this whole coaching process, my biggest go-to step, my biggest and the most important step is self-awareness. A
Mm-hmm.
lot of the times we don't know what we want. How is anybody else going to give it to you? We don't know
Mm-hmm.
who we are, what makes us happy.
Right.
And as we went through this self-awareness process, she realized she didn't know herself at all. She didn't know
Mm-hmm.
what was making her happy or what was making her, why was she always annoyed? She was always irritable. So as she started discovering herself, she
Mm-hmm.
realized that she is the core of the problem.
Oh
Not her
wow.
husband, not her in-laws, but it's her.
Mm-hmm.
It's her own
Mm-hmm.
belief. We spoke about limiting beliefs. It's
Right.
her own belief system, and she's it's a perfectionism. She was putting
Mm-hmm.
herself under a lot of pressure to being a perfect woman, a perfect wife, a perfect mom, a perfect
Mm-hmm.
daughter-in-law. And
Mm-hmm.
because she was putting herself under so much pressure, she was putting the others under so much pressure as well.
Right.
So
Right.
we uncovered a lot of these limiting beliefs that she was operating on. And
Mm-hmm.
then slowly and steadily, we started to release her from the pressure that she's putting on herself by
Mm-hmm.
rewriting those beliefs, by redefining her values, by
Mm-hmm.
redefining the word perfect for her. Because
Mm.
there is no such thing as perfectionism.
Right.
I personally think there's nothing like perfectionism because there's always the next thing to do.
Right.
There'll always be something better. So
Right.
uh, yeah, it took her around, I think, 8 months, not 6 months, but 8 months.
Mm-hmm.
But by the end of 8 months, she is now at a stage where she is in love with her husband, the same man.
Oh, oh, that is
Yeah.
so
To me, that is the big
awesome.
success.
That is huge success. Huge success. I mean,
And
when you
her
go
husband
ahead.
is so supportive that he will stand up for her in front of his parents. It's for an Indian culture. It's an unheard of, it's not a very common thing. So
Wow.
she's transformed her life. It's taken a complete 360 turn.
Right. Oh, that is so fantastic. I'm so happy for her. That just makes me so, I feel so good to know that she was able to
Yeah.
look inside herself and that you were able to help her see, what was it inside her that kept her so dissatisfied with life, and then to identify through all this self-awareness that it was her own feelings of inadequacy that made her feel like she had to be so perfect all the time, when in actuality there is no such thing as perfect, because like you said, there's always going to be something better. There's always going to be, an opportunity to improve.
Yeah.
And that's okay. It's supposed to be. That's how we continue to grow and develop and become more well-rounded people and more valuable to society, I think, and to our families and to our businesses.
Yeah, in
So,
fact, her business, just to add, in fact, so she was just starting as an entrepreneur. She was just starting up her business and she'd done that for 2 years, but she wasn't getting anywhere because she was on and off. Now,
mm,
suddenly, with this whole newfound motivation and happiness, she was able to put that extra effort in her business, and her business started to take off as well, which
wow.
didn't happen for 2 years.
Wow. Wow. That is amazing. That is amazing. And that is a testament to your amazing coaching skills.
Thank you.
So, so thank you so much for that. And so speaking of your coaching skills, why don't you tell us a little bit more about what you do and how we can reach you and stay in touch?
Sure. So I work a lot with women. I'm an empowerment coach. My coaching is based on the foundation of self-awareness. Like I said, it's the relationship you have with yourself that is the root and the foundation of everything else in your life. So if you're struggling with your business, if you're struggling with your job, if you're struggling with your relationship, everything comes down to the relationship you have with yourself. So that is the
Mm.
foundation of my business, of my coaching. um, if you do want to get in touch with me, you can go to coachshama.com. That's my website. uh,
Awesome.
Feel free to reach out to me or find me on social media, Instagram and Facebook. I'll be very happy to have a conversation. But I'm also having a free webinar for women. So if you feel like you want to have it all, but somehow your limiting belief or your value says, no, actually, if I'm a mom, I can't be a career woman, then this is a free webinar for you. It's a myth that I would like to bust. You can have it all, and I have it all. Renee has it all. We are examples of you can have it all. So please, if you're stuck over there, feel free to take this webinar.
Yes, absolutely. Thank you. And that's at www.coachsharma.com. Definitely check it out. Click on the link, sign up for the webinar. You will not regret it. Coach Shama is truly the coach of all coaches for women entrepreneurs who just don't want to feel like they have to choose, because we can love our businesses and we can also love our families. They don't have to be exclusive of one another. We can do it all. We can have it all. And I am so grateful to you, for Coach Shama, for making it okay to say that. I mean, that's really fantastic. I love it. So, is there anything else that, and as we wrap up our golden nuggets, what else can we do as entrepreneurs to stay true to ourselves as we're building our businesses, setting goals for the future? What advice do you have for us?
So the one thing as entrepreneurs I would like to say is, when we do business, it's very easy to get sucked in. It's very easy to it's almost like you go from a 9 to 5 job to a 24-hour job. It's very easy to do that. What is important is to look after yourself and be kind to yourself. Just
Hmm.
because you can do it today does not mean you have to do it today. You have to look after yourself. You have to give yourself the time for self-care
Right.
and your
I love
family and your
it.
friends.
I love that you said just because you can do it today doesn't mean you have to do it today. That to me speaks volumes. Because and I say that because when I was first, doing my business full time, I would work easily 14, 16 hours a day, every single day. And even my family said to me, Renee, this is not sustainable. You cannot keep doing this. This is not healthy. This is bad. Stop doing this. and,
You
and I
listen.
didn't listen. I didn't listen. I kept doing it. I kept doing it. I kept doing it. And so much to the point where, I mean, eventually my husband started resenting the how he was just being neglected. I was neglecting him because there was no balance. I had no balance because, like you just said, just because you can do it today doesn't mean you have to do it today. I didn't know that then. No one had said those words to me then. And but that has all changed and things are all better now.
I'm
but
glad. And
those
Renee,
words,
what has brought that change for you? What
what was
switched?
that?
What switched for you?
What stage?
So how did it switch for you? How did you change from working for so many hours to having the
I
balance?
started thinking more about my health
Yeah.
and the health of my husband. and the love and care and concern that I wanted him to know I had for him, that I wasn't showing him. So I stopped thinking about myself, because to me, it was selfish. I came to the realization that working all these hours is selfish, because it's not allowing me to offer any of my best self to my husband.
Yeah.
And that I was convicted by that. I was like, I can't. It's not fair. He is too good of a man for me to treat this way. And so I just like, okay, I'm shutting it down at 6 o'clock. Okay, I may start at 6 and end at 6, but I'm shutting it down at 6 o'clock. And I'm gonna cook for him, and I'm going to serve him, and we're gonna do things together. And and things have been so much better once I made that decision to not be selfish and think more about him than myself. And the business still flourishes.
Exactly. Yeah, and that's the important, right? No matter what, you're doing less hours, but the business is still doing great. So
Yes.
ladies, you don't have to put in 24 hours for the business to flourish. If anything, sometimes less is more.
Absolutely. Less is definitely more. That's my testimony.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes, less is definitely more. And with my business, I own a virtual assistant service called Executive Help Now, and we provide virtual administrative support to small businesses and senior level executives. And that, because the need was so great, I was, talking to potential new clients, I was bringing on potential new team members and things like that. It was, and because we're virtual, there's no boundaries practically. And it's like, you can always reach somebody, because especially if they're on the other side of the world, they're awake, so it was easy to do. So it was really great to finally come to the place where I can stop. I don't have to work 24 hours a day. I don't have to work 16 hours a day. I don't have to work 14 hours a day. I can, okay, getting past 10 has been a little bit of a challenge, but that's a huge improvement over, 14. So I have to, baby step this thing, to the ideal state. But it is so much more improved, and it shows in the quality of my relationship with my husband and the amount of time that we get to spend together. And that's what matters most to me. And I don't know if that resonates with any of our audience or not, but let me tell you, like Coach Kshama said, less is more, especially when you have more of yourself to give to your family, to your own self-care. Whether it's, getting a massage or going for a walk or exercising or, hanging out in the backyard with a drink of choice, whatever
Yeah, exactly.
that looks like. So yeah, relaxation just looks so different to everyone. And when you're working so many hours, it's even hard to relax. I learned this the hard way. Like, we went on a trip to Costa Rica, and I could not stop thinking. The wheels in my head just kept turning, and I was always on. I could not relax in Costa Rica on the beach.
Oh no, that was a wasted trip then.
Right, exactly. I'm like, okay, something's wrong with me. I need to do something different for real.
Yeah.
So yes, I definitely understand. Definitely made some changes, and I've been all the better for it. So thank you so much for saying the words, Coach Kshama. And that's sometimes just all it takes. It's just to put the words in the air. I hope they land on some receiving ears, and they definitely have been received well on these ears. So thank you. I appreciate you.
Definitely. Thank you so much.
Absolutely. It's been great having you.
Thank you, Renee. Thank you.
Have
Thank
a
you for
great day.
having me.